Hello. Good afternoon. My name is Jana Weiss. I'm the Student Life Coordinator for Global Online, and we're here to talk about making your own websites. And ever present and always grateful to have her and her expertise is our wonderful librarian, Alex Almastica.
Hello, hello. Thank you, Jana. Welcome, everybody. My name is Alexandra Mystica. Everybody calls me Alex, and you're welcome to call me Alex too. Welcome to this session about how to make a free website. Uh, we, I was talking with Jana, and I want to make a quick, let me see something here on the chat. Can you let me know if you want to try to make a site with me at the same time? Tell me on the chat if that's a yes, or if you just want to observe how to make the site. Oh,
Yes.
Faith says yes. It's very easy. It's not going to be anything super complex, okay? Because if you want to like have a little landing page fairly quickly, we can do it. Let me see. Faith said yeah. Oh, yes. Okay. We're game. Here we go. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate how to make a very simple site using Google Sites. Okay. What I'm going to share is going to give you a structure about how to think about this. I think we could have all of our sites done, believe it or not, by 1:30 and being able to share them with each other, okay? So, I'm going to wait one more minute to see if we get somebody else in. After we're done with that section, then I'm going to go over, some things that I want you to know about website making in general. One thing that I don't talk about is about selling things online, okay? Uh, I don't go to how can I set up a website to sell things, okay? Um, you do need to have a Gmail account for that, for making a site on in Google Sites, okay? So, and let me see. Yeah, so let me see. 105. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to share my screen. And I'm sharing my entire screen today. See, I have 10,000 sites open. And mind you, I've done this before with many students for a specific course. The only thing is I had to switch accounts. Give me just 1 second here. All right. So I want you to go to Google Sites. Just like that. Go to Google and look for Google Sites. And you should see something like this. When you get to Google Sites, you're going to click on that link and you're going to press got it. And you're going to stop right there, okay? Okay. Alrighty. So were some of you able to get in there into Google Sites? Tell me in the chat. Give me a yes. Perfect. Okay, here we go. Next step. When we are in Google Sites, I want you to notice that you should not, and you don't have anything here because there's no site yet. I have 5 things at the top. We're going to work on a blank site. Later, you can come back and play with the other ones, all right? But we're going from blank. So click blank. And all of a sudden, you should see a page like this. I'm going to explain this page right now, and then you can play with it, okay? So the first thing is that at the top, you can give your site a name. I'm gonna name this one vacation. Or I'm not, well, that my mind is on vacation. Portfolio. I'm gonna name this one portfolio, okay? And I want you to notice that when I set this as portfolio, immediately here below, the name change, okay? Now, for this one, I'm gonna title it and I'm gonna put my name. You could do whatever topic you want. If you wanna do your own topic, that's fine. Notice that when I'm typing, I'm getting some options here at the top, okay? So I could maybe adjust the letters in the that I am selecting here for the title. No, I'm going to stick with Arial, and maybe I'm going to adjust the size. I'm gonna do 30, right? Gonna expand. If I click over here and move to the right and the left, I can center this, okay? And start noticing that there's some options here at the top, okay? I just want you to see them. If you want to play around, that's fine, okay? Another thing that we can do is that we can insert, we can tell what type of header we want. If we want the title only, if we want a full banner or a large banner, right? Or if I just want a cover. So if I want to use an image, I can, let me change my header type right here. I'm going to select the banner. And now I'm going to click on image. Let me see if I can upload something real quick. I'm going to use an image that I have, this one, as an example, okay? So far, I've adjusted my name. I put the title of the site here, and it's looking good. Okay, so how are you guys doing? Were you able to kind of like put your name and give it a title? Okay, and do an image? Okay, so when you do that, let me see, Carmen. Thank you, Carmen, and thanks, Chelsea. When you get to that point that you have something in your header, I want you to now look at the right side of your screen. Right here, you're gonna see that there's 3 different menus. You have a menu for inserting things, a menu for adding pages, and a menu for adding themes, okay? So if you wanted to change your theme, you could scroll down and select different types of themes on your site, okay? So I'm gonna go all the way down and I'm going to select vision. You can select any that you want, or maybe level, diplomat. The image that I have on my background doesn't work really well with that, so I will probably adjust it later. But that's how you select a theme. There are ways of making this a little bit different and inserting your own themes, but for now, select something that you will like. I'm going to still pick with level, okay? And now I'm going back to my insert menu. From the insert menu, this section right here, this is how we are going to add content to our site down below. So the first thing that I'm going to add is going to be a content block, okay? And when you do that, let's say that you want to, I use the word placeholder just so that I see how things are looking. Okay, so I like the way this looks. If I wanted to make an adjustment, I could do it at the top. And if I wanted to make an adjustment here, I could do it by clicking. Notice that you have options, right? To move things around a little bit, add perhaps a video from YouTube. Oh, let me try something. Jenna, your channel on YouTube is what's the name of your channel on YouTube? It will be a HCC Online College. Let me see. Student Life. YouTube. Okay, here we go. So this is a video from Student Life. I don't know if this one is from the online college, but I'm going to use this one as an example. I'm copying this. If I was going to go add something from YouTube, I have the URL. And I'm inserting that there, okay? So now I have a video in there and I can add different things. Another thing that I want you to notice is that you have additional sections that you can include, like documents from your Google Drive, slides, charts, additional videos. But I am going to select from my content blocks right here. And I'm going to select this one. And that's fine. As usual, I just go and put placeholder just to make sure that I know that in that specific session, there's text that I can add, okay? So how is it looking? Are we good to go to the next step? Thank you, Chelsea. Thank you, Angie. Of course, Regina. You want to know what to click? Let me see. One step, could you tell me after insert where to click? Okay. So when if you are here on insert, notice that you have images, right? You have also text box, embedding things from your drive. As you move your mouse, you're going to see that things highlight for you. So imagine for a moment that you are here with a blank page, okay? And that you want to insert something, you could go here and click text box and notice that we have a new element on the screen, okay? That's a text box element. If you wanted to add content blocks, you could do so here too. And as you click, you get different things that you can add, okay? If at some point you want to undo your work, you can click that last undo, okay? Now, one thing that I want to emphasize in this process is that as you are adding components to your site, the server is automatically saving things, okay? So I always recommend two things. We're going pretty fast right now just for you to play around and move and place things. If you have content, I always recommend that you keep like your photos in a folder, your text in a different folder so that you can edit outside of the site, okay? Because sometimes you keep making changes and then sometimes you could get a little bit lost going back and forth. It's not like working on a static document where, when things are not going to be saved, okay? So that's really important. Keep your content secure on a folder, on a flash drive, on your computer, and edit there and then upload what you want to see to the site. Chelsea's like, let's go. We're going. Next step. Okay. So now, so far we have One page. Everybody's is gonna look a little bit different. That's fine. Notice that we only have one page. We will be our home page. Now we're going to add an additional page, okay? So I want you to click on pages, and you're gonna have a menu that is going to give you options to add more things. I want you to click on new page, and I want you to, I'm gonna do resume. That's what I'm gonna place there. I'm not gonna say advanced, but if you do this a custom path, you don't need to do that. And now I'm gonna press done. And I'm going to add a second page that is going to be projects, okay? And I'm gonna press done. So notice that as I am adding pages, there is a menu that is appearing on my screen. So right now I'm in the projects page. Right now I'm in the resume page, okay? So that is a way in which you can add additional pages and create the link to navigate automatically. Now, this next step is really cool. Imagine for a moment that you want to place this project page underneath your resume page. What you do is you go here to projects, you click, you hold it, and you drag it on top of resume and you drop it. When you click, you hold and drag it and you drop it on top of resume, and the page is gonna hide, and then it's going to be under that menu, okay? So let me know if you're ready. If you created 2 pages, we're good. If you wanted to try that other one to drag, that's okay too. Because the next step is one of the most important that you need to do if at some point you want to share this site with somebody, okay? So Fatih, Faith, let's go again. Are we ready to go? Give me a let's go if we're ready to go to the next step. Ready? Okay, Chelsea's ready. Anybody else? I want more. Angie's ready. Let's go. All right, we're going. Okay, so the next step, ready? Good, good, good. The next step is critical. And this is where I'm going to make a very important note. At this time, you do not have to pay for this site. You don't need to get a domain. This is going to be hosted under Google Sites for Google. So all of us are doing this for free, okay? Later on in the presentation, I'll talk about, the cost of maybe getting your own www.amelia.org, right? But for now, no payment. So here we go. So I'm gonna click on home, and I want you to click on home too. I want you to be there. And I want you to notice at the top on the right side, there is a little button that says publish, okay? Now, when I click on that button, I'm going to get a brand new menu. And here's where I want you to notice something. You are not going to use your existing domain. You are not going to try Google Workplace, okay? And you're gonna leave this on manage. Here's when we're gonna give this a name, okay? And I'm gonna say portfolio. You can use your own words, please. Think about a phrase that you want to use. Portfolio. And I'm gonna use portfolio ejemplo because I know nobody's gonna mix English and Spanish. Because let me see, portfolio example. It's probably taken. Yep. Portfolio ejemplo is not. So right now, here, this is going to be the URL, the internet address where my portfolio example is going to live. And I'm going to publish this, okay? So I'm publishing that. And now my site should be live online. So you see this little link right here that says copy on published link site. I'm going to click here and I'm going to copy this link. And when I go online and drop that, that's the website that I created, okay? So let me show you again. I went here to this little link. I clicked it and I copy that. And what I want you to do right now is I want you to publish. I want you to click this link, copy that link, and drop it on the chat for us so that we can see your site. Okay, let's see. Oh, here we go. Let's good job.
Nice.
Very well done. If you're still publishing, do that. Let me see how I can. Here we go. Ooh. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Copy link. Let's see. Carmen, you're being featured. Good job. Very good. And look at that. She even did the resume and she added a second page. Excellent. Let's take a look at another one. Okay, let me see. Let me see. Scrolling down. Chelsea, hold on, Chelsea. Official newsletter for the development. Okay, yes. She did home. She did an admin corner. Perfect. Publish. Really good. Very good. Okay, let's look at a third one. Amelia. Look at that. Oh, Amelia went with the YouTube video too. And she added 3 pages. She has a project, the resume, página principal, and she added content there. Really good. Okay, let's do one more. Let me see. Very good. Faith. Faith Azabasele. Very good. Very well done. Family, sis. Yes. Project. Okay, excellent. Okay. Let me give you a round of applause because you went and you did a really well-structured site. And you saw it took us like what, 15 minutes. Very good job, guys. So what we just did together was going to use a service online that is freemium. There's this freemium aspect, right? It's giving you something for free. It's okay. Thank you, Jocelyn. So we use something for free to create a website, a landing page, okay? And I saw that you guys use different types of ideas. Somebody had a website for a family, somebody has something that was maybe for work, and somebody was working on their portfolio. So when you're creating your site, it's really important for you to have your content, right? And remember to keep it apart and then upload it. Now, I'm going to demonstrate something that is, and also don't forget the whole publish, right? Once you publish your site, that link is active on the net. And then this is the trick. Every time that you make a change to your site, you have to republish it because you have to update that in the server so that the changes that you made from your editing part are active online, okay? So I'm gonna demonstrate that and then I'm gonna show you other sites that you can use to create websites in a similar way, maybe a little bit more advanced, but I want you to have, knowledge of the tools that are out there so that you can experiment and then try to say, hey, I'm gonna make this website on this tool, okay? So let me see if I got, here we go. Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong account. Here we go. So I am back on Google Sites, and if I go back, I'm going to see the website that I'm editing here. I'm going to click here to open it up in my editor mode. Let's say that I make a change. I'm going to just remove the word placeholder. And I'm going to type example, just as an example of changing content. When I do something like that and I click publish, your window is going to change. And it's going to show you your site on the right as it looked, and then on the left, the current draft. And then you have to republish that, okay? So once you do that, now your new site online, give me 1 second here. Your new site online will have the change. Remember we were in placeholder? If I refresh the page, now it's 6 example, okay? So that process of adding content for the first time and creating your site, publishing, and most sites use the word publish to upload a site into the internet. And then when you make changes, republish is the way that you need to think. It's not like saving a document. It's a little bit different. So remember always to publish. Okay. So at this point, I'm going to stop for a second and ask you guys, do you have a question for me? Any questions related to the process that we just went through together? Drop me a question on the chat. How do we delete it? No thanks. Okay. Thank you, Jose. Thanks you, Carmen. Okay, let me show you. I haven't reached a limit yet. There must be some type of limit. I'll follow up on that question. You can't make like 1,000, right? How do we publish our social media link? Okay, so let me show you how to delete. If I am here, I'm gonna click the 3 dots and I'm gonna say remove. And then that's it. You will remove the site. Okay. Faith, when you ask about, you're welcome. When you ask about our social media link, what social media service are you thinking about? Like which company or any in particular? Instagram. Ooh. Okay. Off of the top of my head, I can't. Let me see something real quick. I'm going to my Instagram to check something here. Because Instagram is a platform that when you have to be inside the platform to look at some things, so it doesn't allow you to just like search online. And I probably will have to follow up with that because I don't remember if there is a way of sharing like uh, a QR code for your account. I know in some other accounts you can do that, but I don't see an option. Because let me try to do something here real quick.
I think you can use the URL on your page and do a link off of that. Like if you click the Instagram sign or something.
Yeah, I there's a way which I can share like a link, but then if I share that link, right, for Instagram, you will have to log into Instagram to be able to see that link.
Mm-hmm.
See? Yeah, it's that one. I think the social link in the insert. So we will have to try that. I'm gonna make a note because I'm gonna have to follow up with that. Any other questions? Angie's saying that, Angie mentioned that I think you need to access your Insta account on the web and then copy the URL from there. Yeah, you can do it on the web or on the app. But what I want you to think about is like, if we go back to our pages and when we just put that link that we get there, you might not be able to see the reel or your post. Keep that in mind. And you can experiment because the site that you make belongs to you. Thank you, Jose. Can we put another website inside of mine? Ooh, well, there's some things that we could do. Yes, you can. You can do something like that. Okay. Uh, there's different things you can do, but I don't want you to think, I want you to think in a different way. Instead of thinking about putting a website inside of a website, I want you to think about placing content, embedding content so that you can create content and put content, okay? Buttons. Okay, now you guys are wanting the advanced class. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go show you something a little bit different, okay? I have examples of 3 different websites that I have made for different purposes in different platforms. And some of these platforms allow you to create content like the ones that you're asking for, okay? So let me switch. And I'm gonna minimize my screen. Let me, I hope I didn't close it. Okay, here we go. So first of all, I wanna do a disclaimer right here. If you want to learn to make a website with all the powers that be in the market, you may want to consider Dreamweaver. That is the actual software, professional software from Adobe that is used to make a site, okay? That is very important. If you are interested in learning more about websites with HCC, you might want to check our digital communication department and consider, meaning they have some certificates that include aspects of, for example, website design. So if you go to the digital communication program, let me gonna scroll all the way down. There is a particular class for web design, okay? So that's really, really important for us to remember that ACC has classes along those lines for you. Now, when it comes to real world examples, I have a little presentation that I made, and I'll talk about this later because the page that you are seeing with was made using AI with my content, okay? So this is something that I learned a while back and I want to share with you later, but because you were asking about different sites, I'm gonna give you an overview of some other places that have more features than Google Sites. So right now I'm in something called Weebly, and this is how the backend looks from where I'm editing. Okay, and if you notice, the layout is different. You have your instructions on the left, and then you can create different things on the right side and do certainly a different layout and integration of social media links. How does this look if it goes live? This is a really old website, guys, but I still have it. I still have it around, just for examples. And let me accommodate my page a little bit here. Okay, here we go. I don't know if I closed the live page. Oh, I know what I did. So I went, this used to be Alex's Library and Information Science Journal. Today I went and I changed it. I think it was to AI Journal. So I'll see if I get there in a second. But I have another website for you. This is a different company. So this is Wix. And the website that I'm going to show you was a website that I made as my part of my capstone project for a master's in public administration. So this is certainly a very different way of creating a site, and you have a lot of different elements. So for example, I have some buttons right here. And the way it looks, let me see. And I had to switch here to, give me 1 second. Here we go. The way this website looks, Made in WIPs, is just like that. Okay. So this was presented to this became a real tool that was given to the city of Tulia as a new council and board handbook. And all of these on the left are buttons with different access levels to different sections of the report that we created. Okay. So this is something I created this without any knowledge of programming or CC or cascading style sheets. Okay. So there are different things that you can make when it comes down to making different websites. And this were my classmates when we were doing this type of report. Okay. If you wanted something different, right? And if you want to know in terms of Google Sites, I have my own domain, and this is part of my, let's say, my portfolio for my doctoral program. So this is now fully fledged. I'm out there sharing my degree plan, artifacts, and resources that I've been working on. So this is all done in Google Sites. The only difference is that I have my own domain. And then you're gonna ask me, hey Alex, how can I get my own domain? Okay, so there are different ways in which you can get your domain, okay, or a domain. But I want you to be aware of certain things. When you acquire a domain, you don't purchase it. You're kind of leasing that domain, okay? The domain is administered by a different agency, right? So you don't usually get that domain forever. And there's certain things that you have to be aware when we are talking about domains, because sometimes you can get a domain for a year, you can get a domain for 2 years, 5 years, and then domains expire, right? And then somebody can come and they can get the domain that you've been using for a long time. All right. So the most common used domain is .com, but there are hundreds of domains out there. So let me share with you how that looks. I'm gonna close some pages here. So this is a list of that is governed by the Internet Assigned Number Authority, and these are different top domain endings that you can use, and there are hundreds on this list, including .com, agency, and then on the right side you can see the institution that is in charge of administering that domain. Okay, so this is something that you could consider if you're trying to explore. Look what's over Apple Inc. Okay, so some people have some institutions and organizations govern who uses that. Android is really interesting because that Charleston Road Register Inc. I believe belongs to Google. So this is something that you can explore later. When you are thinking about making your own sites, I can't recommend like one tool over the other. What I would recommend you do is you explore. Be mindful that, tools like Weebly, Wix are going to give you different types of things. Now, we even have Canva now that can allow you to create a website. And sometimes these websites are more like landing pages. So this is the interface that they have now. And you could probably look at a design here. Let me see. I never done this one before. It's brand new for me. And if I say apply all the 7 sections, now it's creating content. And let's see what happens when you see how we says publish. And I can give it a name, just URL not available. Ejemplo. Ejemplo, no, not a, yep, that one's available. Ejemplo hoy dot my canvas. Now it's generating the site. And let's view. There you go. The Well Hall Resort Spa. And that's the content that Canva generated. Okay. You can do something similar in Adobe Express, and you can create a web page there. So in terms of what can you use, there's a lot of different tools out there. I recommend that you try, see which ones you feel more comfortable with, and then that may allow you to, express and create a site the way you want it. Now, a whole different thing that is probably for a session that goes beyond this one is what happens when you acquire your own domain and how you connect a website that you made so that you can host it. Okay. Because when you have your domain, you're going to want to connect, let's say www, let me see, Rohina professional.com to then the website that you made. Okay. So that is something that maybe we can explore later. Dreamweaver is a part of the Adobe Creative Suite. That's a question for from Adam. Okay, so that's part of the Adobe family, and I believe they have it now. It's over the Adobe Creative Cloud. In the past, people were able to buy a Dreamweaver by itself. I don't know if that's possible right now. Okay. Questions. Thank you, Jose. Really good, Rohina. Okay. You're excited? Good, good. Go create your own site. Go create your own site. I can't, I don't, how can I say it? I cannot recommend a domain registrar for you. Okay. I think that you should explore some options. I can talk about some that are very popular. Domain registrars are the companies that uh, to which you go find a domain and then you get a domain from them. So I'm going to give you an example of how that process looks. So on the chat, if you tell me something, if you could get a domain today, which domain would you get? And I'm going to go with whatever I see first. Give me a good idea. If we were going to do a domain today, what domain would we create? Okay, an organization. We're going to try. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, George. NASA. Okay. So, or we know, okay, a .com. Okay, what is it going to be about? Give me a theme. Dream big. We can't do NASA because NASA, a reading list. Okay. Yes, we have students that want to read. We love that. Let's see how that will look like. And then Jose's saying history. So maybe we're going to try to do something about myreadinglist.org. Hold on. So if I was going to try to do something like that, the domain registrar that I use is Square. And I have a lot of different domains for different projects. So if I was going to say reading list for history, no matching domains. Give me just 1 second. Get a domain. Here we go. Now I'm in Squarespace domains. And now what we're seeing is a list of available possibilities for the name that we might want to use. So if we went with .com, it will be $14 a year. Wow, and it's available. Okay. His reading list history.net, .org. So anybody, and this is the part where you gotta be careful. You know, anybody can get a .com and .net and .net or a .org, but you really need to, when you are evaluating online sources, you really want to check if you find any, you want to know who is the institution or the person behind that domain, because anybody can build a website. Okay. There are some sites like, let's say if we do readinglist.it, you may, that one's available too. Okay. There are some sites that might be unavailable. And now I want you to notice here, see how the price changes? Readinglist.shop is $60. Readinglist.studio is $40. Okay. And then you can go and you can explore different, they're calling the registrars, sorry, which are the companies that would allow you to get that domain for a year. Okay. Did that make sense? Tell me in the chat or share your questions. Thank you, Jose. Thanks, Angie. Thanks, Bui. So this was a very quick overview of how to set up a very simple site. And then I show you other sites that, you know, as examples of things that you can do. One thing that I invite you to do is to explore, you know, don't be afraid of, you know, trying something new. And then one thing that I do want to highlight is that you should consider creating an account, like it could be Outlook, it could be a Gmail account. I see a lot of websites using the Google account for access. The reason why I say this is that I encourage you to keep your phone account, like if you have Android or Apple, keep that account connected to your phone, but don't be distributing that account through other services to test things, because for security reasons, right? Your phone sometimes provides access to a lot of different services, and I want you to be safe online when you do that. And then as we are finishing today, I want to show you something that that I learned, I would say probably at the start of the semester, and that I want you to keep in mind. So before, in the past, we were coding, right? HTML, cascading style sheets, and learning a lot of language to create different things online. Now you saw today that we were able to pretty much in 15 minutes have like a preliminary site that we put online, right? And there's additional layers that can be added when you, for example, you refine it, you get your own images that are you know, that you're not breaking copyright, you take your own photographs, you create your own content. That's very important, so that you're behaving in an ethical way and nobody gets sued for copyright infringement. And then recently I happened to, you know, learn about now we have AI coming in the midst. Okay. So I recently learned about a new feature in which you can generate content automatically. But the difference of what I'm going to show you is that you can use your own content, which is very different than just saying, oh, create something for me without us thinking. Okay. So I want you to be very careful when utilizing AI. And one of the most important things that I want you to know is that the number one person that you need to ask about the use of artificial intelligence as you are in Houston City College is your professor in every single class, because your professor is the guiding lighthouse that is going to tell you if AI is allowed to be used in your class and to what extent. So if your professor say, please don't use AI, please be diplomatic and respectful and, do not use AI on the course. If your professor says use AI, well, then go ahead and make sure you clarify how to use it. If at some point you use artificial intelligence, do know that the citation styles like MLA, APA, and Chicago, they're all saying that you should cite how you're using artificial intelligence. So there should be a transparent approach to the use of AI when everybody knows what's going on with that. So with that being said, I use AI to make a site, okay? And I never done that before until this semester because this is a tool that I'm using at UH2 and it kind of blew me away. So I'm going to share how that looks and for you to see. So the application is called Gamma. And of course, I'm paying for the plus, but there's a free component to it. And I'm going to show you how a site that I made on Gamma looks. I'm going to publish it one more time so you can see the live page. So this is the site that I made using Gamma. And I didn't have to type anything for it to look this way except the content. And then I made some modifications, right? So everything that you're seeing on the screen came from other things that I've created. And then the site used my own text to generate the site, okay? And I make some adjustments. So I'm using this as a learning tool so that I can give my students like a digital material that they can take with them whenever they go to learn. And it's very simple. And this is part of a website series that I am offering for the library. I'm going to share this with you in case you want to explore it at some point. And the way this works is if you're in Gamma, you can say, I'm going to create a new Gamma, you paste, you generate, or you import styles. So it's really powerful. And I can see this as the next step of what we're going. Let me drop that on the chat just in case you want to look at it. And I have to say that yesterday, that Gamma change, like, saved my life in a certain way because I was giving a presentation and my computer completely crashed. So that site, I was able to use WebEx on my phone to still conduct the presentation. And because the website adapts to mobile devices, I was able to share with the students and they were seeing almost the exact same, experience that they will see if we were on WebEx or Zoom, okay? I really appreciate Jana and the time that she's made to host this event. And stay in touch and let me know what websites you make and how I can help you.
Thank you, Alex. Now I want to thank you all so much for coming. Thank you, Alex. Thank you all for coming. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Bye.